What's going on, YouTube? Sorry for the late start. Um, Shit got crazy. I hate my webcam. Like, I can't stand it. Um, I can't stand it. Drives me insane. I think the quality sucks. Yeah, so I tried to do something else. There's like programs where you can actually use your phone for webcams and stuff like that. And I set that up today, and it was actually working, kind of. So I was like, okay, I'll go with that. We'll do the whole kind of let the iPhone do its thing, because that looks like 9 billion times better. But lo and behold, it didn't work. So I had to kind of reset up my setup here, get everything finagled, and then and go from there. So here we go. I'm just gonna check a couple of things real quick before we dive into stuff, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the deal. Like I said, I'm going to be doing these live kind of feed things every so often. I'm going to shoot to be doing them about every 3 days. So, next one will be on Monday. And we're going to try to start theming these out, so it's just not a bunch of random dudes just kind of spouting shit on the internet, even that's kind of what we do in general. So, we're going to start doing like theme nights tonight. I figured we theme it around the idea of like desert island beers. How beers change for you guys out there? For everybody out there, how has it changed? Drinking by delivery, going out and about and getting beer. Are you still drinking beer, cutting back on beer? What's the beer world like for you guys nowadays in today's world? In combination, we'll do a couple of kind of list things to where we kind of talk about like kind of like your desert island beer kind of questions, but more specifically like quarantine beers. Like, what are some of your favorite beers for situations like this? Like, you can only have a select few things here and there. It's not like you can go out to the beer or brewery or beer store all the time. Some states like mine, it's a little bit easier because you can actually get out and about and go and actually pick up beer from random places and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, we'll be talking about all that stuff real quick. We're going to have a couple people join in. My buddy Ryan's supposed to pop by. I believe Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews is going to pop in. We'll see who's going to pop in general and go from there. So first things first, typically when I do any of these live streams, I do some beer reviews before I actually come on, because I want to have some beers to drink while I'm doing beer reviews. So I did 3 beer reviews tonight that I will share with you guys right now. I obviously won't tell you what I thought about it. You guys will find that out at a later date. What do we have here? 1, 2. Where did my third one go? I don't know where I put my third can. I think I have. Okay. You know what? Here's one. Okay. First one I did was a Proclamation beer. This is their derivative Citra. I've done their derivative. I forgot what the one was. It was a blue one, I believe. It's about 2 months old. But it was a Citra Pale Ale. Ended up doing that, so that ended up getting quite nice. You can see right there, nice, soft, little hazy, 6% Pale Ale. We actually dived into a viewer beer. Tim from Illinois sent me off this Phase 3. You can see here, Phase 3. It's a DDH Creme beer. It's a double IPA with oats and milk sugar. That is turkey gravy, as you can see. And last but not least, I actually picked myself up this just about an hour or so ago. It's a Peruvian Morning from Central Waters, one of my favorite barrel aged programs in general. Rarely miss, even their misses are still pretty good stuff. And this is kind of a coffee beer aged in used bourbon barrels, but it's a 2018 vintage, so you can see there. Actually has a little bit of time on it. So those are the 3 beers that I ended up reviewing tonight. So there we go. Get to the comments real quick before we dive into anything else. Bud Rhodes is here yet again. What's going on, homie? Drive-through has saved us here in SoCal. Drive-through is awesome. We have some drive-through places in Pennsylvania. I live in New Jersey. When I say we, I lived a good portion of my life in Pennsylvania. And I am about 10 minutes away, not even from Pennsylvania now. So there's some drive-throughs there. So I love that. But in New Jersey, we have a lot of people that are actually delivering beer straight to home. breweries and bottle shops and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Johnny Tactical chiming in saying, I'm still getting my beers as normal, just not trying to spend as much money. It's a weird thing for me. Obviously trying not to spend a ton of money in general because I'm not a rich person, but at the same time, I'm lucky that I still have my job. It's pretty stable. We're actually up. We're a wholesaler, and our sales are still ahead of last year's. So we're lucky in that sense. But I commute 3 to 4 times a day, and it's about an hour, 2.5 hours every day. So just from gas alone, and working home every single day, I'm saving probably about $200-300 a month. So I'm actually technically saving money by working from home. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, so there you go. First 2 comments in the shoot, and then we have this fucking guy.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, dude?
Too much. How about yourself?
Stress, and more stress, man. Nothing bad, like literally first world problem stress. Yeah. But like I hate my webcam. I can't stand my webcam. I think it looks horrible. I can't stand it. I don't like looking at it. And I found today, I never thought about it. I've been looking for a new webcam for like months, but I didn't want to drop the money because for like a really good webcam, it's like $200-400. And I found out today that you can actually use your phone. There's apps that'll turn your phone into, like, you plug it in your computer and then your camera on your phone is your webcam. And so I did that with my phone, and it looks fucking awesome. But so I was like, perfect, problem solved, done and done. Problem is it doesn't work with fucking StreamYard. Apparently something with Chrome fucked it up, so it wouldn't work. So I had to like tear everything down and put everything back up last second to make it work, because that's how things go. How about you? What's up with you?
Not too much. Just finished dinner and ready to have a beer. Well, currently having a beer.
What are you drinking?
The Beer Tree Double Creamsicle, Pineapple Creamsicle.
Okay. I would ask you if you reviewed it, but you already did, so you're probably just enjoying it. Yeah,
just enjoying. I didn't review any beer today. Just drinking for pleasure today.
Yeah, I typically do them before I do this kind of stuff. I'll do 3 of them, so I did 3 quick reviews real quick. I'm drinking, and I told everybody, but I'm drinking you probably get the Proclamation stuff up by you.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a 6% Citra Pale Ale. Nice. Not all that pale. I mean, it's a hazy, but it's pretty fucking delicious. So when I was kind of texting earlier, and had you coming on, Sean from Nerd Sense might come by. My buddy Ryan, who comments every now and then, he actually has a YouTube channel where he brews beer. He's going to pop in closer to 7 o'clock. And kind of talked about a couple different themes here and there, and it kind of ties into something that you posted the other day, which is your first kind of beer delivery from a brewery. Yeah. How'd that go? Walk us through that. I know you did a video on it. If you want to look at the unboxing, you can go to Kyle's channel. But why did you end up ordering from that brewery, and then what was the process like for you up there?
Yeah. They're just my favorite local brewery, so I wanted to throw them some business. They had just started doing the delivery side of things. You could still go pick up, like everyone's been doing. You could order ahead, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to throw them the business. They had released a beer that week that I was waiting for them to release to place an order. And they do it, if you order before 10 a.m., you're guaranteed that day delivery. Mm-hmm. I got in at like 10:15, so it was the next day, which is fine. And then, their interface they were using was very easy. It was $5 to deliver, but I mean, it's 45 minutes from my house. So, I mean,
you would spend that in gas.
Exactly. I mean? I wasn't worried about that, let alone my time of an hour and a half drive, round trip. So, I was totally fine with that. Tipped the driver, and it was great. Put the beer on the doorstep, and I had to prove that I was an adult, obviously. And then you were right; they did have to include a food with it. So I got a bag.
Okay.
So it is.
Okay, I was driving. I saw my email popped up that you commented on it, but I was driving and I ran home real quick. I didn't read it yet, but I figured that was the case. You know what I mean? That they just had to fulfill some kind of stupid little, like, whatever it is, prerequisite for that,
No, exactly. But I mean, whatever. You got to jump through hoops.
Yeah. What did you end up getting from those guys? You're freezing on me. I don't know if I'm freezing or you are freezing, Kyle.
Yeah, my internet's been off.
I assume you mean off and on. It's okay, dude. We'll power through it. It's no big deal. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm bringing up the video. I assume it's you just because for some bizarre reason my video has been pretty rock solid as of late, even though I'm doing cellular based stuff. But
I'm sure it's me. No, I've been.
Oh, you know it's you. Okay. Okay, fair enough. So what? Again, go through it again. What did you end up getting through the guys? I know you did an unboxing, but quickly, what kind of beers did you get? Just all the basic stuff like hazies and stouts and shit like that.
Yeah, geez. Yeah, so it was. I got a 4-pack of a sour. I got a 4-pack of an IPA and a 4-pack of a pale ale. What did it end up being costing you total for everything? With the $5 with the tax, $5 delivery, and I think I tipped $5. Was it 50-ish? 30, 45, probably 55, 60. 50 about it was $15 a 4-pack, so it was at 45, 5. Yeah, so probably closer to 60. That's not that bad, man. Even today, like I had to go out. I'm one of the people. I'm the problem apparently. I had to go out and buy flowers today. And I just wanted to support the local greenhouse, so I went there and they opened up my trunk, threw them in, and I drove off. So it's not like I'm out and about. But I was like, okay, I'll go get some beer today. I'll stop by the beer store real quick. And even like the one of the bigger chains for selling beer in Jersey, they won't even let you in the store anymore. You have to order online, and they'll either throw it in your trunk or they'll deliver it to your house. They won't even let you in the building anymore. Okay. So it's kind of, I didn't know that. I pulled up. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh. So I went to another place that was like you're allowed to go into because it's really weird. It's like I find and I guess this is one of the issues with the whole social distancing thing. The issue is, supermarkets are open. I understand people have to go to supermarkets, but how do you stop people from going to the supermarkets? Are the worst, dude. Like there's so many people doing so many fucked up things in supermarkets. It's like you kind of need to close supermarkets. Like if the beer store is not letting people in, I don't think the fucking supermarket should be letting people in. But how do you stop people from going to the fucking supermarket? You know what I mean? We're lucky enough to have delivery to where they can do it here. They'll deliver to our house even during non-pandemic times, or we can go, they'll throw it in our trunk when we pull up to the place. But yeah, anyway, so I went to this other beer store and I did the 100% total rookie mistake when it comes to beers today. In the beer world now is that this one beer store, it's good. They have a really good selection, but they're notorious for having older beer. So I'm like, okay, so I'm looking at dates, and I was there longer than I wanted to be because I was everything was decently old, especially for IPAs. And then I found, this derivative this is only 2 months old, which I'm fine with. But then I found one that was only a week old. I was like, nice. And then I saw this other one that was only 2 weeks old. I was like, awesome. So I picked it up and I get home. Yeah, the one that was 2 weeks old is a year and 2 weeks old. I wasn't looking at the year. I was only looking at months. So I picked up this Cypress Brewing, a really good brewery from Jersey. And I was just looking, rookie mistake. I just looked at day and month, and I don't know if you can see on it. It says it was canned 3/15/19, not 20. So I have a double dry hopped. What do I have here? I have a double dry hopped India Pale Ale with Nelson Sauvin and Hallertau Blanc, 1.5 year old beer. I'm going to drink that on the air live for everybody because this is science. This is probably where fucking COVID came from. To be honest with you, 1.5 year old hazies, but I'll take one for the team if I have to. How's the cellar looking? You know what? I'm trying to, as support local to some degree, drink what I have. I mean, as you were mentioning, not too long ago, I'm not rich. I do have money coming in still. I'm very fortunate there. So I can pay my bills, so don't buy all new beer, just so try to walk that line. But I'm definitely drinking down my cellar. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get some local lower ABV beers is because everything in my cellar, almost everything is higher ABV. Sometimes it's nice to just have a 5% beer, So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's and that's the other thing. Like most of the stuff that I have right now, like, is like stuff that's just like not drinking beer. Like I just want to drink a beer. Like I want to drink. I want to play video games and drink like a couple beers. I don't want to drink like a 2015 Sukaba or like this. So like I cracked a 2018 Peruvian Morning. I'm like I don't want to drink 5 of these. I'm like I shouldn't drink 5 of these. I mean like I'll get in trouble. My dog will hate me in the morning because I'll play with him too rough and punch him in the face or something. I don't know. It's a joke. No animal abuse. If anybody knows anything, Taco abuses me. He doesn't. I can show you all the scars and bumps and shit on me. But yeah, it's been a weird time, man. Now, that brewery you said that delivered to you, what was the name of them again?
Artisanal Brew Works.
You said they're 45 minutes away from you. Are they the closest brewery to you that delivers?
No.
Like how many breweries, let's put it this way, how many breweries can you order from right now?
A city, I mean, to be fair, I mean, urban or that. Did it freeze on me again?
Yeah, you're freezing just power through it, dude. No worries about it. It is.
All right. I don't know if you heard me or not. Yeah, 3 breweries, at least 3 other breweries. I'm in an urban area, so I'm not, it's not that surprising. I live in a city.
What are the other 3 breweries?
Let's see, C.H. Evans, which is pretty close. Indian Ladder Farm, which I've never had any of their stuff. Not yet, anyway. Actually, maybe it's only those 2 that I know of for sure that I'm like 100% positive on.
Okay. Yeah, it's like for me, I think I have like.
I think my dog wants to come in.
What's up? Oh, your dog. Yeah, it's by me. It's like weird. Like I think I have 2 places that will deliver to me. It's like Zigmeister, and Manskirt, which we went to both of those places. But there's like weird, like there's a couple breweries, like, and I've noticed this. There's a couple breweries that are like started expanding their delivery. Mm-hmm. And it almost seems like they're starting to do like, okay, we would be going up that way to deliver beer to like bottle shops anyway. So while we're in the area, so it's like brewery's going to be like, we'll deliver to you, even though you're an hour and a half, 2 hours away. We'll deliver on a Wednesday between like 5 and 8. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be up this way anyway. So that's kind of like, it's kind of cool to see that stuff happen. And there's like, they're pushing for legislation for shipping beer and stuff like that. I know New York. I think New York breweries are now allowed to ship in the mail in New York State, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't done that yet. I guess that's the next adventure.
Well, no, I think that went down yesterday.
Yeah, it's very new. Yeah.
So it's like that's even cool. I mean, it's like we've been obviously doing beer mail stuff for a very, very long time, but just to see that kind of open up, I don't think Jersey's ever going to let that happen. I know PA's pushing for it, but it's weird because it's what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought for a second. It's weird because we can have like places like Tavour. Like I was thinking about doing some kind of like a video piece on Tavour, just as it's obviously a talking point right now. Like getting beer in the mail. What are your options? Like what are the best places to peruse? I've never used Tavour before, but I know it existed. My business model, or the idea of the business model of Tavour to me, was completely different than what I thought it was. Like, have you ever used it before?
I used it early on. Yeah, I don't know, 4 times pretty early on used it. Yeah.
Okay. See, I've never used it. I thought they had a kind of a stable of beers that you could pick from, and then random good stuff pop up. Apparently, it's just random every day shit changes, and you build a box over the course of time.
Yeah, I was getting
So it's
an email. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting an email, I think, like every day, here's a new beer, or, we talked to this brewery, we have 2 beers, there's a, 4 can limit or whatever. But yeah, I definitely got stuff. I got good stuff. I mean, and definitely things I couldn't get in New York at the time, or still can't. I think I got some like the Abyss and things like that I couldn't get on the shelf here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is well before I was doing beer reviews. I mean, this was early on them doing it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'll do some kind of video piece on it, and I'm like, I'll pick a bunch of beers, and I'll order them, and I'll get them, and I'll kind of explain the experience to people. But I don't think I'm going to do it now, because that business model is you build a box. So okay, we have these 5 beers today. Choose which ones you want. And next day or over the course of time, you end up building a crate or a box full of beer, and they ship it to you. By the time I built a box worthy of shipping, I think shit might be over to where it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, by the time, what, it's April now. What am I going to post a video at the end of May, when most likely by the end of May, we're going to be out of this, just because of the weather. You know what I mean? It's going to kind of make shit straight again. So I was like, yeah, maybe. I even reached out to him, not for free shit. I was like, can you send me like literature or information on it, just so I don't sound like an asshole? But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it now. And that's why, I know there are other places where you can actually just pick what you want and ship. But it doesn't seem like there's like a good version of that in the United States. It seems like there's overpriced stuff, mostly out of California, and then overseas stuff, whether it be Belgian in a box, stuff like that, where you're pretty much paying like an ultra premium for stuff. Yeah, kind of sucks. Anyway, let's dive into the comments real quick, because they've been coming hard and fast for a hot minute. KPU 1977. I am older than you by 1 year, I assume. And he's saying, "Sup, guys." We have Mike McGowan said, New York City breweries delivering to Evil Twin, New York City delivering to all of New York State, and other half doing deliveries in the city too. Yeah, it's great. I mean, breweries are doing it, and we kind of talked about it briefly about the podcast, because one of the things I wanted to do on this live thing is start bringing some brewers on. Started chatting up some brewers to see if they want to come out and do one of these maybe once a week until the foreseeable future. Is that when you mentioned about Steal This Beer doing the remote phone calls, did you listen to the one that they posted, the anniversary one where they talked to Industrial Arts? Now that was actually, they were going to do a live show at Industrial Arts for their anniversary. It was like a 5th anniversary show. I actually bought tickets to it to go to it and stuff. Yeah, and they emailed me. They're like, "Do you want your money back?" Or I'm like, "No, you just keep it. And then when you do something, just invite me." And they're like, "Whatever," because I don't want it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah, and I just bought tickets just because I'll give you guys $35. I'm like, it's for how much I listen to podcasts. It's worth it. Anyway, the insight I took from that podcast was the amount of beer that they were actually selling in the tap room and via keg. Which I knew was a big portion of the business, but it was like 70% of their business is in-house and keg. I thought the cans actually made up a larger portion of that business, and that's why you see all these breweries delivering, because they have to. Yeah. They have no other options. Like Carton basically cut their production in half, and now put 30% of their business to 100% of their business. So to move 30% of your business to 100% while cutting production in half, that's fucking crazy. And listen, I know that's a lot of people are doing that. It doesn't matter, beer industry, food industry, doesn't matter what industry, we're all kind of living in that world. But to be able to have to do that is has to be super stressful. But having to do that while fighting state law,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, okay, we'll do this now. Yeah. No, it's like, oh, we want to do this, but if we do this, are we going to go to jail? Oh, no, wait, we'll throw a bag of Cheetos in so we don't go to fucking jail. You know what I mean? Like, It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's crazy. Like, but it seems like you're lucky though. It seems like New York is one of the more progressive ones.
For sure. No, without a doubt. Yeah. And it's easy. It's easy to get takeout food, beer, delivery. A lot of places that weren't doing it before, restaurants I'm talking about, are delivering and doing takeout. They got can tap or the breweries for sure. It's not been a hardship for me, at least in New York. No. Another thing I thought it was interesting in the one with Chief on Distill This Beer was like how good it was they fired everyone so they could get unemployment. It's just such a weird time, financially and economically, that like both breweries are like, yeah, we made sure we fired everyone so they could get unemployment. And it's like, yeah, that's
but
the right thing to do.
But the thing is, it wasn't, because if you remember, at the second part of that particular portion of the conversation was, in order for them to get stimulus relief for the company, they have to still be kind of employing. If they're able to be open, like for example, if you're non-essential, you know what I mean. You're non-essential, then it is what it is. Like people go on unemployment is what it is. But if you can be open, and then and then you fire everybody, be like, well, you didn't have to fire anybody. You're deemed essential. Why didn't you keep all your employees working? So that they actually they did what's right by their employees, but then they run into a problem with, are they going to be able to get any kind of stimulus or any kind of support? Because technically they should have kept people working. My company, we're lucky enough to where not only are we open, but the company I work for, we're a gigantic. I say gigantic. We're less than 50 employees. We're not a gigantic company, but we do about $7 million in billing a year. So, we're a bigger company. We're not like a small company, but we're in a very, very large environment. And all our environments are socially spaced. Like our office staff is the closest people. Like we sit next to each other. Almost all of us are working from home. All the physical laborers, they sit in an area that's theirs, and it's almost it's like a 16 by 16 by 20 area that they're just by themselves. So they, even if they didn't want to social distance at work, they have to. You know what I mean? So they're lucky enough, not only can they still work, but they don't have to be worried about sitting next to people and stuff like that. So we're fine. We can keep open. But that was one of our talking points. My company was like, some people are just like, I don't want to, you have to make a decision. Like, we're not going to fight any unemployment, but if someone says I don't want to go to work because I'm nervous, is that going to let them, will they get unemployment will approve unemployment for anybody at this point? We don't care, but is the state going to allow them to collect by saying they're just not they're nervous to go to work? It's one of those things. It's a really weird world. So that's the one thing with the breweries, is that since they're deemed necessary, which that is a conversation to have. Why do you think breweries are deemed necessary?
I think to give people a way to unwind. It's not.
Is that why you think
no one needs alcohol necessary to live?
See, I view it in a totally different light. I view it totally differently. I view it in that the government absolutely believes that a decent portion of the public is functioning alcoholics, and if they quit cold turkey, it could be like actually flood the hospital system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like honestly, that's why I think breweries are deemed like essential. Now they have other means. Breweries can make sanitizer. They can do all kinds of other things and stuff like that. But that's my whole idea of why a brewery is essential, is because if someone's a functioning alcoholic, if you cut them off cold turkey, that can cause a lot of problems. So that was my thought process. But I'm a cynical asshole who thinks everything's negative. So it is what it is. Next comment, because we went too far on that one. Bill Bach said he's drinking some Hill Farmstead Marie. Last chat, he was drinking Hill Farmstead. Bill, if you don't give me all your Hill Farmstead, then we're not going to allow you in the chats anymore. Hatchie Malachi chimes in saying, hey, Matt and Kyle, hope both of your families are safe and healthy. Thank you very much, brother. We appreciate the sentiment. Do either of you have any anxiety about buying from liquor stores or breweries, even with curbside pickup? Dude, I have anxiety anytime I do anything in life, ever. like at all. Like I have anxiety going to sleep. Legit, like that's not me joking. Like when I was a kid, I actually had a problem going to sleep because I thought I was going to die when I was going to sleep. So it's something I actually like have dealt with all my life, anxiety wise. So like I went out today to pick up flowers for our garden and for the farm, and the person was putting in the flowers in the potting soil and all the seeds and in the stuff in the back of my car. I didn't even get in my car. Everything's closed, but I'm like, my trunk's open. She's breathing into my car. Like that thought went through my head. You know what I mean? Like I went into a beer store today. You know what I mean? I'm like looking around. I'm like literally like looking at beer while at the same time I'm waiting for someone to cough. And if someone coughs, I'm going to like go ballistic. Like, but I won't go ballistic because I'm just trying to maintain that kind of social anxiety. So even with curbside pickup, let's put it this way. I bought 3-4 packs of beer, a 6-pack of cider, and 2 bottles of beer. I came home and I soaked them in my sink and dish and soapy water, and I washed them all completely before I put them in my beer fridge. How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically. And, I try to do grocery shopping once a week. So I went today. Last week, I cleaned everything when I brought it home. This week, I'm like quarantining stuff. Like I have a shelf in the fridge for stuff that had to go in the refrigerator, shelf in the freezer, the stuff had to go in the freezer. Everything else is going to just sit in my basement for 3 days because that's the longest I could see for like plastic and metals that the virus can stay on those surfaces. So I just left it in the bags and they're just sitting in my basement till Monday, maybe Monday afternoon. I'll finally put that stuff away because I was looking at the WHO website and it said 2 to 3 days for that stuff. But yeah, like just being in the store and like I tried to find places. I looked online for places in my area selling masks or gloves. Couldn't find any place. So like I went to the store and it's like half the people have gloves and masks on. I don't. And then it's just very eerie, the thought of like anyone could get me sick. I'm washing my hands a lot, doing all that kind of stuff we're supposed to be doing. But yeah, definitely have some anxiety, specifically to like liquor stores and breweries. I mean, yeah, the beer unboxing. After I did that, put the beer in the beer fridge. I'm not going to touch it for 3 days again. I cleaned up everything that I touched when I made the video. That's why I'm not drinking one of their beers right now because that was just yesterday. Yeah, so I'm definitely paranoid.
Yeah, if you, I don't want to say it right now. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be that dick. But if you need hookups, I have the super secret hookup on all the masks and gloves you could ever want and ever need.
Okay.
It's I'll send you a message. It's
right.
It's like a weird thing, and the only reason I know about it is because of my life experiences, and what how I grew up, I guess you could say. But there's one outlet right now where I can order all of the wipes and masks and gloves I could ever want, and they can't get them to me fast enough because nobody else is ordering from them and nobody knows they exist.
Okay.
It's really weird, and I don't want to say it right now because then everybody else will start buying it, and then we'll be fucked. Like my work, we couldn't get gloves. I run I'm a safety coordinator for my company, and but the purchasing of those items I delegate to other people. And one woman kind of, the one woman in the safety committee who's like, "Hey, I can't find gloves." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I can't find gloves." Masks are a different thing. Like masks, you could take it. There's pros and cons to masks. They obviously work, but a lot of the masks will work. And this is coming. And again, I'm saying this because I just took pathogen fucking classes for fucking 18 years. But masks work if you follow protocol, but a lot of people don't follow protocol and they end up hurting themselves more than they hinder themselves. Gloves are much the same. Like gloves you want to view as washing your hands. Like every time you use your gloves, you take them off, put a new set on. Every time I've gone to some place with someone wearing gloves, they're just basically using the gloves over and over again. Like the gloves are protecting them. But if someone's servicing me and not changing their gloves, then they're basically giving me everything they got from everybody previously. So you really need it washing it, unless you can rub COVID all over your hands. You're not going to get it. It's if you have an open wound or some kind of intake from a mucous membrane. Anyway, so protocols have to be followed. Anyway, regardless, she couldn't find any. And I was like, okay, give me 5 minutes. And I logged into this old account I had with this company and reactivated it. And I'm like, here you go. And it's like, she's like, wait, what's going on? I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I could buy like 50 cases of gloves from this place. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, they don't care. I'm like, they actually have stock. It's actually an industry that's deemed non-essential, that carries a lot of medical supplies. And so they have all the stock in warehouse, but they can't sell it. I'm sure they'll find a way to sell it.
Yeah.
But they're obviously going to, what they'll do is they'll probably blow it out at wholesale costs to medical companies. But if people buy it direct from them, they're still going to make more money. So anyway, so yes, I have anxiety about everything. I have anxiety right now about, is my shirt fucked up? Is my hair fucked? Like, I have anxiety all the time. So that, pandemic aside, exists. Bud Rhodes, times are tough when Monkish begins in-state home deliveries. Yeah. I don't know much about Monkish. All I know is that their IPs are IPAs. Mike Good said, sup, dudes. Sup, Mike. Bill Buck, I can get foam delivered. Times are tough. Times are tough because you can get foam delivered. No, I'm joking. I'm not a big foam fan. They're cans. What do you think about foam, Kyle? Have you had any foam ever?
A few I've had I liked. I mean, I don't remember them distinctly, but I have had a few, and I feel like the Nerd Sense guys maybe sent me some. Somehow I got some foam, yeah.
I love foam on draft. Okay. I don't like their cans. I don't like anything that comes out of their cans. I don't like it. It's so. Do you know what carbonic acid is?
Yeah.
So like carbonic acid is like acid. It basically seltzer water. For people out there, if you ever drank pure, straight, non-flavored seltzer water and it has that kind of weird astringent bittering to it, that's carbonic acid. That's like there's leveling degrees to that, to like carbonation in beverages, and it seems like they just use a high level of carbonic acid, and I can't stand that shit in beer. Corey Detro, I'm gonna go Detro. That works for me. Yo, sup, son? Mike's like, other half is required to deliver a small bag of chips with every order. Haha. Yeah, that's what we were talking about with Kyle earlier. He got a sweet, and not only did you didn't even get like the ghetto ass like tiny mom and pop bag of chips. You got straight up Cheetos, right? You get Cheetos? The good ones too, like the compact Cheetos, like the crunchy Cheetos. Yeah. See, that's like high end shit. That's like someone saying, I have to put a piece of candy in there, and they send you a fucking Reese's instead of fucking some shit candy. Like, you got lucky on fucking multiple avenues on that one, brother. My goodness, I thought Kyle was slamming that Teku. It is Friday. Talk about you chugging a beer. Hot Butcher for the World still delivering to the world. They've always delivered to the world. They deliver to me and Kyle. That's all that matters. Social distancing is a misnomer. It would be physical distancing. Social distancing means me and you shouldn't be talking right now. Technically, winky face. Actually, it's the opposite of that. Social distancing, the word social existed before social media, and social has to do with people existing in social gatherings. So technically, it's on point. So the misnomer is you believing that it's online only. Kyle, can you back me up on that one?
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's see. Bill Buck, that's why I got 4 cases of Marie. Well, if you have 4 cases, you could send me one. That means you have 3. It's called math. 5% ultimate chugger. That's what I want to call it. That's my wrestling name if I ever get in a wrestling game. I'm 5% ultimate chugger. Matt, if Zigmeister and Manskirt deliver to you, you could probably get Jersey Girl delivered too. I believe I can, but here's the thing. I looked, not that I looked at Jersey Girl specifically, but I looked real quick and I didn't see anything about delivery from them. I don't see how they're not delivering, but not that I don't like Jersey Girl, but I've been trying to pepper where I spend my money. Spend a little at Zig, spend a little at Manskirt, spend a little local bottle shop. So I'll probably end up going to, and I'm okay with curbside pickup, because I know that saves them a couple bucks. So I need to have sanity in my life, and a bulk of that sanity comes from me driving around randomly. Like I'm not going anywhere. I'm like taking a back road and just taking a ride, listening to music, veg out. That to me is the best thing I could do for my soul at the moment. So I have no problem pulling into a brewery, having them throw it in my truck and taking off. So what's your sanity right now, Kyle? If you were going to pick something like the one thing you're like, okay, this is the thing that keeps me from being stir crazy cabin fever guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, I feel fine, I think it's just I have my routine where I still, like, during work hours, I'm trying to do work related things. I'm home and take my dog for a couple walks. And I have thought about that, though, just going for, a drive just to have the normalcy of it. I actually even thought about driving to my job, turn around. But yeah, I think, I jumped at the chance to do something like this, just interaction, even if it's virtual like this. Yeah, I think probably my dog is the number one answer, though.
Yeah, see, for us, we're lucky because we're on a farm. So dog walks for us is let's go outside and play ball. Like we don't have a fence. There's no, you know what I mean? We don't have to take our dog for a walk because we don't need to have him on leash. We do every now and then, but the public park by me ends up getting so packed. We didn't feel comfortable with it. Yeah. But like the drives, especially where I live, I'm about, within 8 minutes, I'm at the Delaware River, which is a decently sized river. And what I'll do is I'll pick a side because it separates PA from New Jersey. And then we have Route 80, which is like the biggest interstate in the country. It goes from New Jersey to, Pennsylvania. What I'll do is, once every couple of days, I'll drive the Delaware from the 80 on the Jersey side south. The next day, I'll drive at 80 from the PA side south, then cut across a bridge and come home, or I'll go north on either side. Like I'm basically just driving up the river, and then I'll take with my wife or my dogs in tow, and then we'll drive up, and it's all pretty much that whole stretch, sans a couple spots, or all state park. Nice. So we'll drive until we get to a point where there's nobody's around. Then we'll get out, and then we'll go and we'll frolic with the dogs and go to the river and stuff like that. So it's those drives that really kind of I do that shit when it's not pandemic time. Let's put it that way. So yeah, works for me. But Rose, props to Saratoga Springs. What does he mean by that?
That's the brewery I ordered the beer from that delivered there in Saratoga Springs, and he's from there originally.
Really? Yeah. Okay, see, Saratoga Springs, I assumed would be in Florida. It just sounds like it's from Florida, doesn't it? I always
okay.
Like
Sarasota.
Andrew Speece waiting on a beer delivery right now. It's awesome. Yes, it is. It's more awesome when it actually gets delivered. Antonio 512 says, "Ciao, vi suego dalla Calabria, Italia." I have no idea what that means. The last word I believe is Italian, Italy. He says, I assume he's saying hello from Italy. Hello. I do not speak Italian, but I'm glad that you're tuning in, brother. Matt, what's your favorite U.S. microbrewery? So a couple things here. We got to unpack a couple things on this one. One, we're going to let Kyle chime in on this. And two, KP. I'm going to call you KP because I want to. And I assume you're born in 1977. Well, I have not heard the word microbrewery in many a year. So what do you define as a microbrewery? Now, I'm going to take it as a small craft brewery. I'm not, obviously, Bud, Coors, Molson, no. But I'm also going to restrict New Belgium, you know what I mean, Ballast Point, Sam Adams, Dogfish Head. I'm going to exclude that. I'm going to exclude, like, Treehouse and Trillium and stuff like that. I'm going to go with, like, micro. What I was, even below that, even, like, I'm trying to think, my favorite microbrewery. U.S. microbrewery, my favorite U.S. microbrewery. Ooh, that's a good question. Because then you're starting to whittle it down to a really tiny one. I'm going to give you a couple just because it's hard to do them. Locally, super hyper locally to me, Conclave Brewing. They're out of Flemington, New Jersey, in Troon Brewing. They're at about 15 minutes south of Flemington. They're microbreweries, very small, low production. I dig on those. Bottle House Brewing, I believe they're out of Cleveland, Ohio. I've only had like 4 beers from them, and all 4 like blew my titties off. So I'm going to mention those guys. Microbreweries. Hill Farmstead count? I don't know. Let's see what else. And one more. I'll get one more, and then we'll go to Kyle. One more microbrewery. I'm gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go with those guys. Bond Place Brewing, Bethlehem, PA. Fuck yeah. What about you, Kyle? Super small breweries that you just dig.
Yeah, I gotta kind of stick local too. I think that's the easiest way for me to answer this one. Brewery you're familiar with too. I'll go with my hometown brewery of the North, in Endicott, New York. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that they're the only brewery in my hometown and they make really good beers. So it's just, and they're very small. So I think it fits the micro, part of that, and cool dudes. And yeah, definitely, place I like to support when I'm home.
Just the one? You just give me one?
Oh, I mean,
I named like 5. Give me 2. Give me 2 more.
Geez. Well, okay, so then like 15 minutes away from them is Water Street, which is just a brew pub. Actually, I think you've been there too. I mean, technically it's a brew pub though, so.
Water Street, I actually been there 5 times. And
I didn't know about the one. I didn't know 5. Oh.
I've been there 5 times, and the one time I went, it was horrible. The last time I went, it was horrible. Like, so bad, I don't know if I'll ever go back. That's how bad it was. Anyway.
It changed ownership?
I don't know, man. I would go there because it's a like you said, it was a classic brew pub, so you can get a lot of like traditional style beers, even though they did new school styles. But they had food, and they had poutine, so I always like to go there and get poutine and shit. But I went there. Let's put it this way: last time I went there was, oh god, it was probably about a year and a half ago. I'm guessing about a year and a half ago. I went there, and I think I went to the North. I think I went to a couple different breweries, and I went there just to be like, I want to fucking go. And I was with my wife. I ordered food and a flight. I finished no beers in the flight. The food I never touched because it was that bad. Like the food was like, it came out and it was like fucked up. Like somebody fucked up. Like somebody was high in the back. It was, and I drank maybe about an 1/8 of each beer, and then the server came back. And I was like, yeah, can we get our check? And the person looked at me, he goes, and they just shook their head and sighed and went, that bad? And I was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, I'll pay. I'm like, I'll pay. I'm like, it's cool. Like, but we got to go. Like, it wasn't like the servers, like, what's wrong? They were like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Like, it was like you could see it in their eyes. They didn't like it. But anyway, so Kyle wants you to go to that place. Anyway, what's the next one?
They are under new ownership, so if that means anything.
Oh, good. No, but here's the thing: the 4 other times I went previous, I really enjoyed it. So yeah. I'm not going to judge them on the one. Yeah. I'll go back. But anyway, go ahead.
There. You know what was one I really enjoyed, and you and I went there together was the Farmhouse Brewery in Owego. Marty, that was just how much he focuses on local stuff and using weird ingredients, tomatoes and stuff. And he's a cool dude.
And they have a beet beer that's really delicious.
Yeah, which is actually good. Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in New York used to be a hotbed for hop production back in the day, but then there was a disease, I forget the name of the disease, but there was and we're talking probably close to like 70, 80 years ago, or even post-prohibition, I believe it was. But they basically had some kind of fungus or some kind of disease come through and basically kill off the hop crops and stuff like that. So New York kind of said, screw it, we're out of the hop game. And they've slowly come back, and they're just kind of in that area of the world, like equator-wise, a lot of latitude-wise or whatever, to where hops grow, grain grows in a very not necessarily fantastical way. It's not like Yakima Valley or New Zealand or anything like that, but they can produce a decent amount of product when it comes to beer and stuff like that. And it's been coming back quite robustly, especially over the past several years. And New York passed a bunch of brewery laws to allow breweries to flourish in the state of New York. And one of the ones they passed was a New York State brewers license, which is basically saying if you're a New York State farm brewery, You get all these kind of tax breaks, and you get this kind of cool like satellite license, which is basically like if you have a brewery, then you can open up like 5 tap rooms, and they're still considered the same brewery. So then you don't have to pay this, that, and the other thing. The caveat with that is that when the law passed, the stipulation was you had to do like 50% of your beer production had to come from New York State ingredients. So it'd be water, malt, hops, not yeast. Just all the ingredients you sourced had to be 50%. But over the years, that percentage has grown. That was part of the bill that was passed. So, a couple years went by, and then be like, okay, you had to be at 60. And then a couple years went by, you had to be at 72. And a couple years went by, and eventually, I believe 2020 or 2022, it could be wrong on that date, but I think that's close. 2022, you have to be at, I think it's 91 to 94% of your ingredients need to be from New York in order to be considered a farm brewery. And Farmhouse Brewing, like they were like at that level when we did the podcast. So like well before they had to, they were living in that world. So they're a hop farm, they're a maltster. You know what I mean? They do all the bits and pieces. So they might not be the most shiniest and fanciest of breweries. But if you're ever in that Oswego area, it's Oswego, right? Not Oswego. Oswego's up north, right?
It's pronounced like local people call it Owego, but that's a like local dialect.
But isn't there Owego and then Oswego?
Oswego, yeah.
And that's up north of Syracuse, though, right? So Owego without NS. It's a great place to stop. There's great breweries out there. Upstate Brewing's not too far away from there. North's not too far away from there. There's probably new breweries that have opened that I don't even know about up that way. So if you're up that way, it's definitely worth stopping by. Have you been back there since, by any chance? Or
since I've moved to Albany, I haven't been to Upstate or Farmhouse. I've been to the north. I've been Water Street, Beer Tree, but yeah, I haven't been to Upstate.
That's an extra 40 minutes for you.
Exactly.
Once you get to Binghamton, and what's the north is in, what is it again?
Endicott.
Endicott. Yeah, that's another half an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm saying if you come down, because if you go from Buffalo to Binghamton, you can either go through the New York Thruway and go to a roundabout way.
Yeah.
If you go to roundabout way, which is kind of some of the New York Thruway, and then cut down through Genesee, New York, not Genesee Brewery, but Genesee, I believe, you pass all these great breweries. You pass Other Half, you pass Mortalis, you pass all these breweries that you could basically hit in this weird little run upstate, and then Farmhouse Brewing. So if you're ever traveling that area, look it up. It's a cool little beer trip you could do. My good saying Brewery by Me is doing kegs, 5 liter and quarter barrel, depending on the beer, which makes me want to get a kegerator. Honestly, right now, I've never wanted a kegerator more in my life. Like, you give me Allagash table beer at 3.4% tiny house at 3.4% on a kegerator, I would replace that with water. To be perfectly honest with you, I would just drink that all day long because that shit is fucking good. God, have you ever? You don't have a kegerator, do you?
No, and I've wanted one, but doing the beer reviews, like just to have like another. Actually, it'd be like it would stress me out because it'd be like, oh, I have that keg of beer, I got to drink that keg down too, and it would add stress to my life. Yeah.
Nah, that or it'd just be like it's easily accessible at all times. That might be a problem. Yeah. I should have clarified that he started doing kegs because of this. I assumed as much. Garrett T. So it's Garrett and then T, but no space. I was really happy that I finally had the opportunity to get some Troon beer since they're doing online sales. I'm also supporting my Hackettstown breweries as much as possible, which is fantastic, dude. You know what I mean? Like a lot. That's the other thing that a lot of breweries have been doing around here, Kyle. I'm not sure if breweries up by you have been doing it. Is that instead of doing lines, they have been doing online sales. So that way people aren't waiting in line. So they'll say, okay, but here's the line starts at noon online. Buy all your beer, and then when you want it, we were giving you an 8-hour window. As long as you bought it online and you're guaranteed to get it, you don't have to worry about coming here early and stuff like that, which Garrett was talking about. Like, he's never had the opportunity to buy Troon. For those that don't know, Troon is a small brewery by us. It's an hour away from me, so I'm literally on the cusp of getting it whenever I want it. So Troon only does crowlers. They don't do cans. They just do crowd. They've done a can here and there. They've done a bottle here and there, but 99% of the stuff they do is just self-packaged crowlers. And they basically go into Instagram. They don't tell anybody. They just go on their Instagram, go, we have this beer, come and get it. That's all they do. And then they say, we have 250 crowlers. You're allowed one a piece or two a piece, come and get them. And then if you're not there within 60 minutes, you're not getting it. So if like my Instagram pops up and if I want it, I'll go. I don't. But if I wanted to, I can go get it. But if you live an hour and 15 minutes away, you're just never going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it works. Unless you guess right. There's little tips and tricks you can do to figure out the guess right. But so a lot of people have really enjoyed Troon and lived relatively close, but never had the opportunity to have it. But like Garrett was talking about, he's actually had the chance to actually have it, which is cool, man. So good on you, brother. And it's cool that you're actually sporting a lot of the Hackettstown boys, because I think Sigmeister is an awesome brewery, and they deserve all the accolades they get, because I think they make fantastic beer, and I think they're one of the best tap rooms I've ever been to. Just environment and beer and selection and all that stuff. It would be a pity to see places like that go away because of what's happening right now. So those are the places that you need to support. Man's Hurt too. I'm not trying to single out them, but is there some place for you, Kyle? Is there some place that you've always wanted to try that is kind of local, but you never get to because it's either too far out of the way or it's too much of a hassle? Because you don't chase beer, you don't dry beer, you don't go to releases. That's not what you do. But is there something you're like, man, one brewery that you're like, man, I kind of really want to try their beer, but I just never have. Like, it could be local or non-local.
I mean, local. But actually, you mentioned it, Mortalis. I've never had a Mortalis beer before, and I do want to get out that way. Joe from the Beer Patrol and I talked about maybe it's not quite halfway between where we live, but it's kind of halfway, meeting out that way sometime. But yeah, that'd be the only one that's even on my radar to kind of answer that question.
I will see if I can get you some of their beer, because they're releasing, they're releasing a beer. Let's see. They released a beer yesterday that they made because of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I might be able to finagle them into sending you some. I'll see if I can reach out to them. They make a beer called Venus, and they do a bunch of different, like, they fuck with it. They do like different. It's like basically their pastry stout, but it's low in ABV. It's like 6 to 7%. It's not huge, but they do a bunch of different stuff. They throw a bunch of stuff like that. And the first one I ever had, I was like, this shit is like, I went in this big long story about how my mom was from England, and we had all, I only know her living here, and most of the stuff that we ate was American food, but there was these English wafers that she would buy all the time. It was like these wafers that from England, and like they were like the cake and the candy that I remember from my mom, because it was like she'd have to get it. She'd have to find it. It's not like something she could buy randomly. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what this beer reminds me of. The first one I ever reviewed from. I'm like, it's fucking wafers. It's wafers. And yesterday released a beer called Wafers.
Nice.
Yes. And they were like texting me back and forth, like joking about it and stuff like that. So yeah, no, Mortalis is one of those breweries. Like you're talking about like a microbrewery. Those would be one of the breweries I'd mention if I knew enough to actually mention them. So, let's see what else. Mike McGowan back in. Evil Twin is shipping with UPS through New York State. Yeah, it seems like UPS is the company that everybody's going to use, only because I don't know why actually, because I get beer from breweries from UPS and FedEx, legitimate beer mails, like the ones that are actually if Avery Brewing out of Colorado sends me beer. Who else does it? CM Adams, a couple breweries like that send me beer legitimately. Like they actually pay the extra money to send it via FedEx or UPS. Like most people think it's illegal to send beer. It's not. Like if you go to UPS and be like, I want to send this beer, they're gonna be like, fuck yeah, let's send it. But you had to pay like almost double to triple the amount you normally would, because it has to jump through these hoops and get these special permissions and all this kind of crazy stuff. So that's why most people, and I'm going to let you know a little secret, most breweries don't do that. Like most of the beer I get from breweries aren't marked as alcohol. They're just doing it on the DL like everybody else. It's like jaywalking. But you can get beer from FedEx and UPS if it's done correctly. But it seems like every single brewery in New York I seen is going to start shipping is using UPS. So interesting to see.
Yeah.
If you send beer out, what do you typically do? Unless you don't want to say anything, because technically it's illegal.
Yeah. You mentioned UPS. That's interesting.
Fair enough. Love me some ups. We had Rod chiming in. Cheers, Matt and Kyle. Rod, I don't know who this Matt with 2 T's is, but I assume you're talking about some handsome dude. Anyway, thank you very much, Ron, for chiming in. I have to do that every time Rod. Did I tell you about that, Ron?
No.
So the one there's a guy who reviews beer on YouTube. His name's Ron, and he reviews like Budweiser and Coors and shit like that. And he comments on every fucking. He used to comment on everything I would post, so I would always write back, and I'd always use his name. So when Rod started commenting on my videos, I would type out, or I'd use text to speak. It would always autocorrect to Ron because I was typing Ron all the time. So he was like, "My name's not Ron, it's Rod." I'm like, "I know, dude." I'm like, it's not me, it's my fucking phone. So anytime Rod chimes in, I call him Ron. It's fun. Lubru saying, "Cheers, guys." Ryan, what's going on, man? I thought you were gonna jump in here, brother. It's already 7:42. I sent you a link on Facebook. You should do that. Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have going on here? Oh my God, so many comments. Sexton Brewing, Ashley from Sexton Brewing. Cheers, Matt and Kyle. I'm doing weekly grocery runs and try to do online beer ordering. I placed a local beer purchase for pickup tomorrow, and that's in Canada. So that's I know with Canada, I know they've already done like hold on one second. I know you could actually order beer to your house via the LCBO in Canada. So I don't know is that something new, Ashley, that you do now or not? I don't know. I keep a roll of Lysol wipes on me when I go out and wipe down everything. I kind of do that normally. What's everybody drinking now? What are you drinking right now, Kyle?
I only brought the one beer, so it's this. I'm still nursing this.
Are you done with it or?
Almost.
Go get another one, man. I can hold down the fort until you find something new.
All right.
Unless you don't want to. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. It's not called peer pressure. Actually, it is. I am drinking Central Waters Peruvian Morning. This is a malt beverage. It says it right there. If it says malt beverage, that means it's actually a malt beverage. This is a malt beverage aged used oak bourbon barrels with coffee added, but it's a 2018 version. So you're talking about 2 years old. 2 years old. Coffee. I don't know what. Let me look it up, see if I can find it actually. Peruvian Morning. They don't actually tell you the style of beer. Let's see. I assumed it was an Imperial Brown Ale. That's what I called it in a review. They called it an Imperial Stout.
They're weird like that. They say malt beverage, and then they don't have ABV, I don't think. Like they don't on the bottle.
On the bottle, they don't. I'm actually first. It's 11.7. I didn't guess it in the review because it wasn't a mystery beer, but I actually had no idea. They actually called it an Imperial Stout. It is not an Imperial Stout. Like even if I actually show you on camera, like it looks like a stout, but it's not. Like if the lighting was better in here, it's like kind of like doo-doo water brown, like almost like a Doppelbock, but it's really tasty. Ted saying it's tattoo shop related is what it sounds like. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Order your supplies from a tattoo supply online place. There you go. But the problem here's the caveat. And that's the thing. I should have actually said it. I want to tell people. Almost all tattoo supply companies right now have a ton of stock, but the problem is you actually have to verify that you're a professional tattoo studio for most of them to deliver product. Like there's so many home tattooers, like shitty home tattooers that want to order stuff that a lot of supply companies won't send product unless you send in like a business license and basically prove that you're a legitimate company. So if you just sign up and order stuff, half the places aren't going to send you anything anyway. I just happen to have an account because I used to order shit every week, so they don't give a shit. Ted Hefner, I'm drinking Enduring Thing by Hudson Valley. Okay. I have Hudson Valley beer. So I got a 4-pack of Hudson Valley stuff. Sour, obviously, from Hudson Valley about a month ago. One of my coworkers, I was out of work for a bit because my father died, and he was like, he's in the beer kind, and he's like, I got you a Hudson Valley 4-pack just for fun, and I was like, okay. It was 3 of the same beer and then 1 of another one, and the 3 of the same one sucks really bad. It's like sour, but sour not because it's supposed to be like sour like that, but the one he gave me, I was like, I drank one of the other ones. I was like, I'm not going to review this one because I had 3 of them. So I was like, I'll review it after I drink the first one and see if I feel like reviewing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not reviewing it. Then the second one, I'm like, it probably sucks too. And I drank it. I'm like, this shit's amazing. And I didn't review it. So it is what it is. When I say sucks, it didn't suck. It was just like enamel ripping to the max. Like I just couldn't get through it. It was too acidic. So yeah, you did some Hudson Valley stuff, right, Kyle? Or no?
Yeah, I reviewed a few. Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time. I'm not the biggest sour guy. So like you were saying, like to go to a place that does mostly sours and wait in line to get a sour.
Yeah. KP saying, great point, Matt. My social distancing point from earlier. Thank you very much. The term, an idea of physical had to exist before social. It did. Ted said Troon, all caps. So Troon. Sorry, name is Ken, and yes, born in 77. Troon and hell yeah, Hill Farmstead. Troon is unbelievable, sporadic as hell, well worth it when you can get it. I mean, literally one of my favorite beers I've had in recent memory was a Troon beer. And this is before they got popular, like not to be that douchebag, but like I went there and it was just the owner and his father, I believe, just fill in glass growlers. You could just roll up anytime you wanted and get whatever. And it was one of the better beers that I've had in recent memory. So KP saying, Ken saying, around Chicago Hot Butcher, Microphone, Pipeworks, Mars are my favorites. I love me Hot Butcher. That is no secret. Microphone, I liked what I've had from them, but to be honest with you, they haven't blown me away. I've always loved Pipeworks, man. Pipeworks beers are fantastic, but where I think they've really kind of make my wiener hard is their fruited stouts, like the raspberry abduction, I believe is what it is. I like that. Oh man, it's like and Mars is fantastic. What's your Chicago? You have Chicago faves outside of what is listed here. What the fuck's Daisy Cutter? Who makes Daisy Cutter? Half Acre. Half Acre is fucking amazing. There's a bunch of great. Brickstone is fantastic. Revolution is great when it comes to stouts and barrel aged stuff. So there's a bunch of great ones. Do you have any Chicago ones that you really lean towards, Kyle?
I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, I mean, Hot Butcher their stuff's so good. But yeah, definitely Half Acre's great. Revolution's great. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Bourbon County. So, okay. Microphone, I've only had. There was an Imperial. Smells like Bean Spirit, and then the Imperial version, which are both good. Yeah, the Hot Butcher thing. I mentioned a couple of my videos. I know the Nerd Sense guys too. Like, their stuff's so good, and then you just like because they send it. It's like I'm not just saying that. Like, they're a really good brewery, and definitely nailed the hop thing. But their Pilsner was very good. Their stout that they sent was very good. Definitely seem to know what they're doing.
Okay. Okay, let's see what else. St. Darius, brick and feather. So St. Darius, this is the H first comment. I'm not sure what he's really chiming in at. I assume he's referring to somebody actually asking what people are drinking. He's probably drinking St. Darius, which is Cellar Brewing, St. Darius Rustic Ales. Brick and Feather, I assume, is the beer. Have you had anything from Cellar before? Amazing brewery, a lot of like yeast driven stuff.
Okay.
Think like they do a lot of sour stuff, things like that. So yeah. Garrett with that capital T at the end chiming in again. What's your guys' thoughts on small local breweries making hard seltzers now? My thoughts are very, 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 very specific, and that is if your local brewery, and this actually sucks to say because there's a local brewery by me that makes hard seltzer, so I'm gonna piss on them right now. If you make hard seltzer right now, you're an asshole. You're just like, I understand people want to drink it, but it's not beer. And if you're doing it, then you're doing it just to make a buck, and it has nothing to do with making a quality product. You're just making something that people want to consume. So it's almost separates the great breweries from the shit breweries. Now, listen, people have to keep their lights on. People have to feed their families. So I'm not going to sit here and be super magnanimous, but like if you're making a hard seltzer in your brewery right now, you're just basically saying that wins. That's more important than making what I believe in and it's a good product. So I'm just going to do that. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little bit like what you said. With the lights on, like I keep the lights on. But yeah, if you're a brewery, unless you're like brewing it, like if you're just adding, syrup to seltzer water, and then I don't know. I don't know how you. I don't know. Because I don't want to talk poorly about anyone. Because I know a brewery back home that's doing that, so I'm trying to be diplomatic.
No, and I agree with it. But here's the thing, and here's the trick. And I think, and again, one of my favorite breweries does this, so it's fresh in my brain. Is that if you want to do the seltzer thing, you can without doing it. Because one of my favorite breweries is Bond Place Brewing, which is in Bethlehem, small brewery. What they do is they make an OG style base Berliner and then add syrup to the Berliner to make like the syrup sweetened kind of a thing that people like. If you like seltzer, you'll probably like a Berliner Weiss if it's done a certain way. So instead of being a seltzer, they do the Berliner stuff.
Yeah,
that's my take on it. So it's a bunch of bullshit. What do you think, fuckface?
Yes.
There you go. That's why he's the best color guy in the business. So anyway, for those who don't know, this is what's your name again? Ryan Lewis?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this is Ryan. He likes beer. The shelves behind him don't lie. What's your deal right now, man? Like, what are you doing? Where are you living? What's the word?
Right now I'm at my parents', but I'm moving at the end of the month.
Okay, where are you going?
A town out, just the John up the road in Laughlin.
Yeah, Ryan sold his house not too long ago, but when I say what's going on, I'm more specifically talking about brewery stuff because you're still doing. For those who don't know, Ryan does his own YouTube channel. It's Lou Brew on YouTube. You can go check it out. He does a bunch of homebrew stuff. Not super active as of late, even though it does post a bunch of videos still. But more specifically, you've been working at a local brewery more often than not, right? Is that like a job, or is that just helping out? What's going on with that?
It's right now. It's just helping out with an intent to basically have my foot in the door.
Okay, and how's it going?
Well, as of right now, it sucks because of the stupid coronavirus. But but other than that, good.
Yeah. What's the deal? Well, what's the name of the brewery, if you don't mind me asking?
Bearded Barrel.
Yeah. And how did you end up getting hooked up with them? Is it more just hanging out and drinking their beers, or did you actually know the gentleman beforehand?
No, with me and his name is Tim. We hooked up homebrewing first, and then he said that he wanted to go pro, and he's like, I kind of am in like, less than a year. It's in the works. So, and then it finally came to fruition.
Did I ever meet him before?
I don't know. I think so. I think he's from like the Plymouth area.
Okay. And what was his like business model with opening out and just basically just make beer, open up a place, or does he have like an ethos or something?
Right now it's just he's delivering to like local restaurants and pizza shops. Right now it's just draft only. He's got a canner in the works, and then he's got space in the place for a nice sized tap room. So eventually, it was supposed to be like end of spring, maybe beginning of summer, but who knows now.
So he predominantly draft accounts and then working towards scanning and then a tap room.
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
What size system?
3-barrel.
Okay. How's what's it like? Have you brewed on it?
I helped him out a bunch of times. Yeah, it's a lot more grain than homebrew, but the process is the same.
Okay. And what's going on with your homebrew stuff? You're still chugging along and banging stuff out like a crazy man.
I mean, here and there I do. I was actually bottling a new stout, and
I saw a very fancy wax tip stout, mind you.
Oh yeah. Very fancy crayons and glue sticks, my friend. Hey, it works.
Yeah. What was it? Just a base stout or?
No, it's an imperial stout. It's about 12% that it's got cocoa nibs, coffee, and vanilla. And then I aged it on some bourbon soaked spirals.
What's the name?
Shadow of Doubt.
Okay. Sounds kind of passive aggressive. I'm kind of getting scared right now. Kyle,
no, but I have.
Go ahead.
I have two. I have this one and the one before that I have to give to you to try.
Yeah, I know. Like I think what is it? About a month before all the shit went down, we were kind of texting.
Yeah, we had to.
Let's hook up, and now, I'm in Jersey, so there's really no way to get out there. I mean, I can drive out there, but it is what it is. And Ryan made one of my favorite homebrews ever, but also one of my favorite names for a homebrew ever, which is Mom and Daddy Special. Mom and Daddy Special Dance. Is that it?
Yeah. Mommy and Daddy Special Dance.
Yeah, when his kids walked in on Mommy and Daddy having special time, and they called it Mom and Daddy Special Dance. And little does everybody know out there, Ryan invented mystery beers.
I did. There was a beer that me, you, and Joe brew. So
Ryan, myself, and then Joe that you met, Kyle, who works at River Horse. Yeah, we hooked up one day. We did a bunch of beer reviews, and during the beer review session, we actually made a beer. And then, God, it had to be over a year later, right?
At least, yeah.
Over a year later, that was probably in 14, 15. And then over a year later, Ryan's like, hey man, I got a beer for you, but you don't know what it is. I just want you to drink it and talk about it. And then did you give us like a thing in an envelope or something like that to tell us what it actually was? Yeah. You have to guess what this beer is beforehand. And we were right. Yeah. I actually drank it. I'm like, this is the fucking beer that we fucking made together. You know what I mean? So that was like the impetus for mystery beer. So technically, Ryan invented the mystery beer. A little fun fact. So in 178 millennia from now on Jeopardy with Alchemist's robotic head, when they ask who invented mystery beers, Ryan will be the answer for that question. Who is?
That's right.
Luber. Little do people know though. He also has a very dark smudge on his history too, which is he whined and cried about not having the brew photo name on.
Oh yeah.
Instagram. They fought and got
and then I got rid of it
on Instagram that he wanted so badly, and then 4 months later, it's like, yeah, fuck that handle. I'm going to change the Luber. I was like, you motherfucker! Yeah, good times.
Yeah, so if people don't know, on my Instagram, Lubrew, I do like the homebrew stuff and their stuff, and kind of like some pictures of An idiot.
You're cutting in and out, by the way. I don't think it's the actual video. I think it might be the your microphone or your headphones or something like that. Just so you know.
No, I was saying that the reason it was brew photos because I changed it to Homebrew so I could add some of my homebrew stuff, and then
who's the guy that holds the thing to his throat in fucking South Park?
South Park.
Yeah, you sound exactly like you. Yeah, you gotta unplug it and plug your mic back in.
What is his name?
Yeah, I forget. Timmy. Like that's exactly what you sounded like right now, Ryan. Like it was like crazy robotic.
What about now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
You're good now.
Okay.
Anyway, let's dive into comments and we'll get back to a little bit of conversation. Let's see. Okay. Best small breweries here in SoCal would include Beechwood, Green Cheek. I've heard of Green Cheek, Monkish, Highland Park, and Pariah. Or I've never heard of Beechwood. I've always wanted to try Green Cheek. I never had any Highland Park, but Highland Park, I think, is the people that are. Isn't Highland Park the company that is? What's the word I'm looking for? They're credited with the Brute IPA, I believe. I think Highland Park is the company that actually technically made the first one. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of. They sound like a bunch of great breweries, and Beechwood and Green Cheek. No Beechwood, never heard of it. Green Cheek, I've heard a bunch about good stuff. Monkish, I've never been blown away by Monkish stuff. I like their beers, doesn't do anything for me, but Pariah, I'm a big fan of. Pariah is one of the brewers we actually should have on. I actually mentioned that the other day. Yeah. I'm going to reach out to them and kind of do one of these live videos with Pariah because they're good peoples. Paul Celia says, just think they're cashing in on what's popular, in my opinion. I assume he's referring to somebody else. We'll skip over that. Got to do what it takes to stay afloat, especially now, while still keeping in your wheelhouse. If seltzer is what it takes, then so be it. And I don't disagree with you. I think the spirit of the question was previous to all this happening, because there's a lot of breweries making hard seltzer before the coronavirus COVID stuff went down. I think that's what the question was about. I don't see any brewery making seltzer now and packaging it and trying to sell it to people. Like, that's not like something breweries are doing, are they? I haven't seen one brewery be like, okay, now we're just going to make seltzer and not give you beer. I don't see that happening. Ted Hafner says, I was able to get 2 of the more recent trim releases. I guess it's one positive of this pandemic. And there's a lot of positives that come from this, along with a lot of negatives. The grand scheme of things, you got to make that lemonade. Otherwise, everything's always fucking shitty. Butcher Funky Ass Swans of LIR over here, because I had it. Are you having a stroke? Because I might be having a stroke. Yo, Kyle, that was a nasty in the best way. Goose Izzle double barrel. You crackled on the YouTube. Man, you're okay. You need to call. A great call on Brickstone. 100% Hot Butcher nationally ranked. Seltzer for the ladies, son. It's bearded barrel. See, a little bearded guy, the barrel. Yeah. And didn't he produce a white wrapper? Who's that?
He's talking about Ryan Lewis and Macklemore.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there it is, Macklemore. I have no idea what those people are. Kidding. First Brute IPA, down with them, says Joe from the Beer Patrol. Get up in this piece, Joe. Come. What else you got to fucking do? Hang out with fucking average dad? Well, fuck yourself. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say I am a huge fan of. I want to call them Brute. I want to call them Brute because they're Brut, right? That's what people are supposed to call them, Brut. Right?
I think it's Brut, but I always want to say Brute. But I think
I want to call them Brute because I'm a Brute. This fucking did I grab one? I didn't. The fucking Old Nation Brut for 53, I think we were talking about it last time, Kyle. Old Nation Brut is fucking amazing. That beer is fucking amazing, regardless if it's a Brut or not. And Bill Everts chiming in. Okay, guys, been great, but let's have some discussion on the nature of the universe. Such as is the virus a bioweapon, or discuss? No, we're not going to do any of that shit because this is about beer. We don't want to talk about people dying. Anyway, what are you drinking, Ryan? Are you drinking a beer or no?
Yeah, I am drinking a pre-racist Backwoods Bastard.
That's kind of Inception level shit. Pre-racist backwards. Yeah, it was probably awesome. That's like their best beer in my eyes.
It is. I do like a Backwoods Bastard.
What about you, Kyle or Ryan? Actually, we have two Ryans on. I fucking forgot. Ryan from the Hype Beer Reviews and Ryan Lubrew. This is fucking amazing. What's going on? Ryan, no hype. What are you drinking?
I didn't grab a different beer, so I got nothing.
I'm drinking currently racist Miller High Life, by the way. Just so you guys know.
Are they racist?
I don't know. Yeah. It's Miller High Life. I don't know. They have to be racist somewhere, right?
Forgot about that. Ryan, that's a sick shirt, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, North up in this piece.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You what's your beer life like nowadays, Ryan? That you,
Me? Some homebrew every now and then, and just usually what I could get locally. Every once in a while, I'll get something sent to me, or I'll win a razzle or two.
You do that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, Ryan was never ever a travel or line waiter kind of guy. You came to a couple soul jams every now and then, but it was more about hanging out with people than actually getting the beer and stuff like that. You've been more homebrew, more enjoy the beer rather than actually no hype. He's more no hype than you, Kyle. Let's put it that way. But you do the homebrew stuff. So when did you go up to the homebrew convention? When was that, in the fall?
Last June, July.
Was that long ago? I thought it was later.
It might have been.
How'd that go down?
Maybe it was August. That was awesome.
Yeah. So
that was absolutely
the National Homebrew.
National Homebrew Con.
Yeah. Did you enter anything there, or did you just go?
No, I did, but I got past the first round, but I didn't get any medals or anything.
And with you not getting a medal, how does that, does it affect you in a positive or negative way, or both?
Positive, I'd say, because you get a lot of feedback. You get like all your scorecards back, and you get notes, but it's ridiculously hard. There's so many entries, especially in like IPA. It's just, if you get through, you're just lucky to get past the first round, really.
Was there any specific like score or specific note that you were like, okay, that I had no idea? Like that's I had no idea that existed, but it does now. Like it was maybe something a couple of people mentioned that you're blind to, or was it more just like constructive?
The most constructive thing that I got that I really don't know because I taste it all the time. It was towards the water that I use, because I'm drinking it every day from the tap here and there, and so it's kind of like bleeding over into the beer a little bit. That somebody that's not used to tasting that all the time could, even if it's a little bit, they're not used to it, so they'll pick it up. So you
weren't conditioning your water; you're just using the water that you had available to you.
Yeah.
Okay, and since you use it every day, you didn't really it didn't present a flavor profile that you're used to. You were numb to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Have you adjusted to that? Have you started?
I started filtering and starting to use some like different watering chemistry, the salts and stuff that they use.
Do you adjust the water that you have now, or do you bring your water to zero and change it to the way you want it to be?
I haven't brought it to zero in terms of like RO or distilled. I just use a carbon filter right now.
Okay.
So, and then I just, I have a base of like amounts of what I want to use, and then I'll taste after I taste it, and then I'll adjust from there.
Do you think it's made a impact, either positive or negative, on the beers?
At first, it seemed like I took a few steps back, but now we're taking baby steps forward now. So we're in the right direction.
You say we. What do you mean by we?
Myself, it's homebrewing because
I didn't know if you were with somebody and stuff like that.
No. I'm just saying we. At the brewery, they use like RO. So
okay, nice. And then what's your? This is a stupid question, but I'll ask it. What's your life been like since the COVID thing? I mean, you work in IT, you work in computers, you're probably working from home, and
yeah. I mean, I'm lucky enough. The only these mo effing kids need to go back to school.
Yeah. Well, so Kyle, how old are your kids at home?
19 and 20.
How old are your kids, Ryan?
7 and 6.
Ooh. Oh, that sucks, buddy.
Yeah, and I feel like all their teachers are like they're sending them things to do like during the day online and stuff. But I'm like, I'm supposed to be working. Like it's hard to like find a balance. And sometimes I feel guilty, just like, go watch a movie or go play with Legos or something.
To go back to the bearded barrel thing, just because I thought of it right now, like, how is he shut down completely at this point and just kind of holding? Because he has no option to can or vessel anything, right?
Yep. No, I mean, there's not really many places that are open for to sit down, dine, have a beer or two while you're eating. I know a couple of pizza places that are doing takeout will fill a growler or two, but still. And I mean, it's not his main source of income. So
he still has his normal job, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So he's lucky. I get lucky in that sense. Okay, let's actually get to the portion of the show where I think people want to talk about. I don't know if you guys are prepared, so let's do a little bit of desert island beers. So quarantine beers, beers that it's a weird question because I actually want to do a twofold on this. I actually want to talk about like your kind of favorite beers that you would like to have in a perfect environment to where you can't, you're stuck in a desert island. These are the ones you would want in combination with the beers that you're gravitating towards now. Because I think this is like a very kind of weird kind of equalizer in that it kind of makes you focus on what you want to drink as opposed to just drinking whatever you want. Like before this, I was getting, I'd go out, buy whatever I wanted. I would get beer mails. I'd just drink whatever and see what it tastes like. Now I'm getting a little bit more focused on what I want to drink as opposed to what's available. So what are some of your guys like, okay, if I had this beer for the next 2 years, these are the only 3 or 4 or 5 beers that I have for the next years versus what are you drinking now? I can go first. I can go last. If no one's prepared, let me know. Who wants to go?
Is there any like stipulations on it, or is it just whatever you want?
Whatever the fuck you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are we limited to an amount of beers or?
Nope. You could do 365 or 2.
Okay.
Whatever. Who cares? It's the internet, man.
Well, I'm going to have some sort of hazy IPA. I don't know. Whatever the new hot brewery is.
No. That
okay.
You're not allowed to do. You have to name one. You have to name one. You have to actually get in nitty gritty and be like, I want a hazy, and this is the hazy I want.
All right, Treehouse Haze.
Okay, well, fine. Just because you're not Team Julius, go fuck yourself. But I'll let you go.
No, I'm Team Haze. And then I want like you could 2014 or 2015 Founders Imperial Stout.
That's a good one.
Whatever.
Dude. That's a really
that beer is aged is phenomenal. And then I don't know, Cantillon Rose. We'll go.
Yeah. For those who don't know, he's talking about Rosé de Gambrinus. For those who speak shorthand on that Cantillon. He's like Cantillon Rose.
that you get a great lambic, and then you also get to look at boobies on the label when you're on that desert island.
Yeah. What else you got? Only 3?
Yeah, that's what that works. I got an IPA, I got a stout, and I got a sour.
Yeah,
That's my repertoire.
No lager, no pilsner. As a home brewer, I'm kind of disappointed in you. So basically,
Why?
you just picked haze. You picked all like the cool guy beers. Like
That's what I drink.
Your
I drink.
BJCP nerd friends would be very angry
as a home brewer. I could tell you how many lagers I brewed.
Okay.
1.
Kyle, go.
I have a similar train of thought. For my hazy though, I'm gonna keep it treehouse, but I'm going green. I'm gonna go Ithaca Flower Power. We can argue what era of Flower Power, but Flower Power for something that's an IPA, but not the hazy IPA. Just a stout, man. I'm trying to go by styles I like.
Well, you could do all pale ales. You don't have to be confined to just whatever.
Bored of that though, I want the variety. I'll go 1050, regular 1050 for the stout.
Somebody likes to get turned.
For a sour, and again, I'm not a big sour guy, but this might be cool or not cool. It's definitely not hip. Dogfish Head Sea Quench. I would pick for a hot day thirst quencher.
It's what Brondo craves.
I freaking love that beer. I mean, and again, I'm not a big sour guy. I love that beer. I could drink that all the time. I'll stop there for now. I'll keep thinking though.
Okay. Let's see. For me, so if I'm going to be stranded in an environment like this, first thing I want to do is have like a super chugger. So something I could drink all the time. So I'll go like Tiny House from Allagash. Just like a 3.4% table beer. Something that I could drink or cook my spaghetti in. Doesn't matter. It's potable water and it's delicious. Next up, I'm gonna kind of kick it up a notch, go a little bit higher, a little bit bigger. I'll go Photon from Equilibrium. A little bit of a hazy, 4.6% hazy. Something that gives me all those kind of delicious, hazy New England style vibes and a sub 5% package. Next up, I'm just going to go Julius because you went haze, you went fucking green, so I got to go Julius just to fucking make that circle go around or triangle. And let's see. I'm working up here. Next up, I will go. I'm going to go Stille Nacht. So Stille Nacht is a Belgian imperial like ale. They actually think they even call it like a I don't know if they call it a triple or an imperial blonde or something like that. Basically, this is like one of my favorite like go-to beers because it's like high in ABV, but if you drink it fresh, it drinks like almost like an old school kind of low like alpha acid IPA, but then if you age it, it ends up drinking like a really old Belgian triple. It like ages really well. So like I could have that on the side, be like, well, I'll just age it and it'll become this other beer. So I'll do the dull Stille Nacht and then just end it with Hardy because Thomas Hardy is what life exists for. So there you go.
I'll add Sammy Claus. Your last two got me thinking about like the multi-ageable thing. I'm gonna go Sammy Claus.
See, Sammy Claus is like that's like a death row beer. That's like, okay, you're gonna die in 5 minutes. What do you want to drink? Be like, give me 6 Sammy Claus. Like Farva from fucking Super Troopers instead of 6 Schlitzes. Be like, give me 6 Sammy Claus. You know what I mean? It's just like dying. That way you don't have to worry about it. But let's talk about what you're drinking now. Like, has your drinking habits changed in real life? Like, are you drinking something different? Are you like not drinking as much? Are you drinking more? Like honest level shit. For me,
since I've been working from home, it's been more.
Yeah.
Lately, but kids drive me nuts. What do you want me to do?
But has your style changed, or is it more like what
No,
you
it's
have
still
available?
what I have available. Yeah.
Okay. For me, it actually went more, and now it's gone less. Because I don't know when you guys started like working from home or social distancing. I'm going on week 3.5 now. So like the first, and I came off like my dad died, so I was like drinking a little bit too much to begin with, and then I went into this, and shit got fucking crazy, and I was drinking like 7 nights a week for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, yeah, that's not good. So I stopped doing that. So now I'm like doing like, okay, like every 2 days on, 1 day or 2 days off, 1 day's on, kind of like every 3 or 4 days we'll have beers. But my I've actually probably skewed more lighter. I know I drink a lot of low ABV beers, but typically when I do beer reviews, I do like a tier. Like tonight I did 3 beers for beer reviews. I did a pale ale, I did a double IPA, and then I did a barrel-aged imperial stout. That's kind of like my MO. Like I'll do like that kind of escalating level of stuff. But it seems like, I have, Miller High Life, like a lot of low ABV stuff. And then skipping over the hazies directly to a barrel-aged beer. When I went out and bought beer today, I bought 3 4-packs of sub 6% beers, and then I bought 2 barrel-aged beers over 11%. It's like I'm missing that middle ground right now. I don't
You're
think
at the extremes.
Yeah, I don't think it's conscious. Like I don't think I'm like that's what I want to like. I'm doing it on purpose, but it just ends up being what I'm buying. So that's just me. What about you, Kyle?
You know what? In hindsight, I don't think much has changed for me. I try to do somewhat of a variety. I mean, I've definitely tried to just do 1 beer a day, which is my norm. I typically every day have 1 beer, whatever that beer is, but just one of them. Maybe because I know I don't have to actually go into work, I might be more inclined to drink a bigger ABV beer. But I haven't changed my drinking habits too much. I mean, a little bit more focused on local, obviously, like we've talked about. Nice. But yeah, a little bit
That's
more.
a desert island beer.
Is that a fresh bottle or aged?
I think all Orval is aged when you get in the States. It's actually an exact duplicate of the one I did the other day, which is almost exactly a year old. Yeah, it was April 25th is when 2019. So is that So you haven't really changed all that much then, Kyle?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess that's good. It's more healthy, at least more healthy than what I do. Let's put it that way. Oh, that's good. It's way better than I had the other day. Same exact bottle from the same exact place. Just tastes different. Anyway, what are you guys doing to pass the time besides beer stuff? Besides kids stuff? Stuff that we mentioned right now. Are you branching into something that you're doing that you did previously, or something completely new? Like you like fixing a house, or you fucking, playing video games, or are you doing whatever? Or no, it's just pretty much par for the course.
Me, no, just trying to get the kids out of the house. Like we'll go for a, hour-long walk or something like that once I'm done with work. But yeah, and then anytime we need to go to the store, like I will jump at the bit to go, 10 minutes down the road just to get out of the house for.
Well, how many people are in your house right now, Ryan? It's you and who else?
There's 6.
Okay. That's probably got to be a blessing in disguise, but also a burden at the same time, because it's good to have human interaction. And have people around, but at the same time, sometimes you want some space and might feel a little bit too claustrophobic, maybe at times.
Yep. Especially with two little, succubuses.
What are you at right now, Kyle? Kyle. Kyle. I actually said Kyle, and I'm like, wait, his name is fucking Ryan. Why am I calling him Kyle? But your actual name is Kyle. You have 4 at home right now, right? His internet sucks, by the way.
It looks that way. At least he's smiling.
Yeah.
This internet today, I don't know why. I'm really trying to stay on a work routine where I'm at the computer, either making lesson stuff for students or responding to emails. So like
making hand puppets and
minus stuff I do after work.
No, but how many people are in the household? 4 of you? It's you and the wifey and 2 kids, right? Oh, you fucker. Okay. Yeah. Same thing for me. It's me and my wife, and then mother-in-law, and then brother-in-law in the other section of the house. So it's like, it's weird because, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. What's Wilkes-Barre like, Ryan? Have you gone out and about and gone places, or pretty much stayed at home?
Yeah. I mean, I try to stay at home and abide by the rules as much, but when I do go out, there's still quite a few people doing whatever. And then, Hazleton's a different story. I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah. It is what it's Hazleton. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Let's do some comments and then wrap this shit up because I want to go play video games. Anyway, let's see. Bearded Barrel. Too many Ryans from the Beer Patrol. That I agree with. What's been your go-to quarantine activities? Mine has been eating, drinking, sleeping, farting. Like, I can't believe how many farts have happened between my dogs, my wife, and everything. So eating, sleeping, drinking, farting, driving my car randomly, and that's it. What do you guys got?
I'm just trying to stay on top of the girls and their schoolwork. And then, trying to, since you can't go to the gym, trying to work out, which is difficult at home. Just trying to find the motivation to do it at home. Sucks. And then I just started, here's one for you. I started a new job a week before all this stuff happened. So I'm still trying to get up to speed with everything. So it's been crazy just trying to get all up to speed with work. And
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like a week before. And then I've been working home the last 2 weeks.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Which, I mean, it's a blessing though, because if I would have waited, I wouldn't even want to try to find a job right now.
No. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Bill Everts. Okay, guys. Okay, we already covered that one. Joe from the Beer Patrol saying, I'm essentially essential at work on lunch break. Watch this fantastic live stream. Basically saying he's at work and he's watching us right now. What's been going on in your quarantine? What's been your go-to? We already talked about that. Too many Ryans. Yeah, there's always too many. Beer PA. Cheers, brother. Cheers. Whole bunch of jerking off on each other. At this point, Kyle should remove no from his name.
He should get rid of the beer pod and just be the troll.
He's got a point, though, right? What? Are you gonna freeze on purpose?
Get to me. That's the thing.
No hyped. All hyped. No hyped. All the no hyped. hyped, non-hyped beer reviews. Funny Joe, he drinks beer that are hyped in my world. We have Joe from Beer Patrol saying Jenny Cream Ale, Jenny Cream Strawberry for my fruity kick. Other half, Citra Daydream, Firestone Walker Sukava, good mix. Probably an Imperial Stout, but I have no idea which one. So this is him talking about his desert island beers. So Jenny Cream Ale, Everyday Chugger. The lemon cream, strawberry lemon is just like a fruity drink mix. And he's going other half Citra Daydream, which is hazy fix. And Firestone Walker Sukaba is because for people that don't know, Joe is a coconut junkie, and that is the most coconut from a barrel. Non-added coconut from a barrel. You ever get in the beer. Let's see. Heady Topper is still the dog. Still the dog? Is that a thing? Is dog being the thing? I don't know. So when's the last time you guys had Heady?
Actually, maybe a week or two ago.
What did you think?
I mean, I think it's still good. I mean, it's not the same as the new school IPAs. It's a little, well, yeah, it's a little more bitter, but it's still good as hell. I'll take it anytime I get it.
Kyle, have you had it recently or?
Probably about a year ago. And I remember liking it a lot, but yeah, it was about a year ago.
See, here's the thing. I had it about the same time as you, Kyle, about a year ago, but I had it as a mystery beer.
Okay.
And it was fucking like super turbid hazy. And I don't remember Heady being like that. Like I actually said it, I was like if you watch the mystery beer, like I don't know which one it is. I'll try to fucking fish it out from all the other ones because I don't put any kind of like thing on it to denote what it is. But it was like legitimate, like a New England hazy beer. That's not what the Heady is.
No.
But that's how like I drank it mystery. It's not like I was like, and you could see it. It looked like a Trillium beer. So I don't know if they had an off batch or that's what they're going for. But it was like, it was delicious, but it just wasn't heady. So it was really weird. Let's see what we got. I've just had to take a break for the past few weeks. No videos, no beer. Just need to take a break and slow down a bit. Nothing wrong with that. We always need to do that. Back to the grind, says Joe. Cheers, homie. Stay well, guys. Good stuff. Cheers. And Tom saying I had a fresh heady week ago. Wasn't fully impressed. And nothing wrong with me not being impressed. It's not about being impressed or loving it. And that's not why I posed the question. It's more about like, has it changed drastically for everybody out there? So it is what it is. So anyway, we're going on 2 hours, which means I am about done here. So you guys have anything to say? Parting shots? Anything specific you'd like to say before I hit the end broadcast button?
Sorry, my internet sucked today. Super annoying.
I don't accept your apology. I think you need to do better. And hopefully, it doesn't suck that much next time. What about you, Ryan? And
just
by
stay
Ryan,
6 feet away from me.
That Ryan. Okay, 6 feet?
Yeah, you just stay 6 feet away from me. Wear a mask too.
Stay a Joe from the Beer Patrol's penis length away from you. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're probably going to do this, like I said, every 3 days. So next time we're going to do this is on Monday for people tuning in. Probably won't have a brewer for that day. But so you're talking about Monday, we'll do one, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll probably do another one of these. I'm almost guaranteeing we'll have a brewer on for that one. So any of you guys out there want to hear from specific breweries, want to hear about specific things, any ideas you want to talk about, any thoughts you want to talk about, let us know, not only in the chat section here, but in the comment section after this video is posted. There you go. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed your time. Hopefully it was 2 hours of something that didn't suck. I'll see you next time. Cheers.